Hi, I'm Lisa Andria, Transformation Life Coach. Welcome to the Ladies Who Leap podcast, where guests share their inspiring stories of leaping out of their comfort zone with confidence and power and into a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let's listen to their life-changing stories so that we can all learn how to gain the courage to take a leap of faith into a life that we love so that we can all be Ladies Who Leap. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to Ladies Who Leap podcast. Today, I'd like to introduce today's guest. It's Susan Wheeler. Susan is a lifestyle entrepreneur. Dogs, hiking, travel, writing, and photography are a few of her favorite things. She lives with her husband on their beautiful organic farm in Connecticut and is also a mom of 4 fabulous adults and 7 grandchildren. Susan has a certification in gut health nutrition and has recently become certified in Pilates. She is passionate about advocating for women's physical and mental health and helping them improve with age. Susan is the author of The Lemonade Diet, an inspirational resource encouraging women to persist and persevere when life hands them lemons. Her motto is, "It's never too late to change your life." Welcome to the podcast. I just want to say, Susan, that we went to high school together in a town in Connecticut. So that's how I know Susan. And I've seen your transformation through life, and it's been absolutely amazing. So I thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. And we won't say when we went to high school, but we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to imagine.
I know, huh? But even though I went to high school with you and I've known you throughout the years, when I read your Lemonade Diet, the Lemonade Diet book, and by the way, it is very inspirational. Everyone should get it. I found out so much more about yourself and your early years and what things happened to you and how it shaped you. Can you talk about your lemons life experience and how it started to shape you?
Sure. Well, there's so many things, there's so many layers, right? But basically, the reason I wrote the book was because I wanted people to not look at me now and think that I'm this or that or successful or an athlete or any of the things that people would look at me and think. I wanted everyone to know that we all come from something, maybe it's a hardship, an experience, or lots of things, lots of lemons, lots of things that happen in our life. And the reason I think that's important is because a lot of people will say, oh, I couldn't do that because, and then their list of excuses, or I couldn't do this. And that was my main reason is I wanted everyone to know that it doesn't matter where you are, what you've come from. And I do think your hardships make you hardier. So that was my main message to let people know, yeah, I hear you, I'm with you, but you can get through this and you can become whatever it is that you want to be or persevere. So that was it. I have lots of stories in there. They're all my stories of things that I've persisted through. And it was also a little healing for me to sort of share that and think back and remind myself, because even today, I think that we sometimes doubt ourselves and we have to remember, oh yeah, I did that. I can do hard things. I can get through this or that or whatever it is. Hmm.
Yeah, I talk a lot about imposter syndrome. And so some people think, oh, I can't do this. I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. No, think about what you did accomplish in your life. Just like you said, you overcame so many things and you got to where you are today. So yeah, you can do something difficult. And if it's hard and difficult and it makes you uncomfortable, that's okay. It's supposed to be like that in order to have you learn and to have you grow, because being uncomfortable, right? That's how I'd say it's where the growth happens, leaping out of your comfort zone.
I think that sometimes you need something really hard to push you as well. And in my book, I talk about becoming a runner, but that was 6 years after having a terrible accident that I couldn't walk. And you sometimes need something hard or difficult as a catalyst to move you to the next level. So I welcome all the things that happen in my life that are difficult. I love it. I really do. Because I think this is a message for me to let's get going and be more, do more, become more.
Yeah, and that's a great message for all the listeners. We kind of, when we go through bad things, we think, oh, this is the end. This is the worst. This is not going to help me in any way in my life. But yeah, it does. It helps you become stronger and become more resilient. And you have no, I don't think that people understand that it helps you to help others even because you learn how to be strong and you can now send that message and help others with that message. And that's exactly what you did in your book and what you do on a regular basis. So, and a lot of us in this coaching business have a passion to help others. When and why did you start that journey to helping women both physically and mentally to help them navigate the not so fun journey of aging?
The catalyst of all the things that happened. So I can't say there was one exact moment, but as I'm approaching 52 this year, I really want to live the next phase of my life as full of life and energy as I can. And I really believe that we have to be healthy. I don't want to just be here. I want to be involved. I want to be active. I want to do all the things. This is a great time of life for women over 50 as the women that I'm helping now. Women over 50 finally have a little time for themselves, whether their kids are off, grown and gone, or their career is winding down. Maybe they have more time, more money. They're not doing all the things that they were doing before. And this is a portion of our life, though, that really isn't mapped out either, which is the funny thing. It's the time when we can do what we want, but we don't even know what to do. We don't know which way to turn. And a lot of women have lived their whole life serving others, whether it's a spouse or children or taking care of parents or in a job. And when you suddenly you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like we have new baby goats and they stick their head through the fence, but then we opened the gate and they were like, oh gosh, it's a big world out there. I will just stay right here. We're not gonna leave our little fenced in area. And that's sort of what women are feeling like at this point. We could go and be and do anything we want, but we don't have that structure. So what I'm loving right now is really helping people embrace that and realize that we have to sort of make our own structure. We have to develop it. This is a time in our life where there is no roadmap to follow.
Yeah, and this is kind of a moment in time where you have to have kind of a leap of faith in yourself. Again, like you said, it was always about helping other people. This is a time to now think about yourself and have that leap of faith and confidence in yourself. So you look always very confident in how you are. Where did you get that confidence from? Where did that come from within you?
I think I learned it from speaking on a stage
Mhm.
because I'm willing to just put myself out there and do things. But I remember the very first time I spoke on a stage in front of a lot of people. I was at the Football Hall of Fame in Ohio. And I had done little things before. You always get these butterflies in your stomach. Well, I knew I was speaking there, and there were other people speaking before me. And I remember watching them and not judging, just listening. I wasn't looking at what they were wearing or critiquing what they were saying. And then it was my turn to go up there. And I I was so nervous. I don't know if you've ever spoken in front of a bunch of people, but I remember even being in high school, Lisa, standing up and doing, or maybe not high school, but in school, like a book report. Remember, we had to do oral book reports. Maybe that was grammar school, but just feeling you're standing and everyone's looking at you and you just feel so judged. Not that anyone's even saying anything, but you suddenly, when we're not used to the spotlight just being on us. But I remember clearly that day when I went up there and thought I was just not going to be able to do this. I thought, I don't think I think everyone is looking at me the way I was looking at everyone when they were up there. And I really just talked myself into the fact that they were enjoying what I was saying. They weren't wondering why my socks didn't match. They did match, but you know what I'm saying. No one was up there looking at me like that. And when I realized that, it just gave me a different perspective on how to be confident. No one's judging you. Just be you. Share what you have to share. Share your gifts. And if there is someone judging you, they're not there for the right reason. And it's on them. It has nothing to do with me. So that I do remember that very clearly. As I'm telling you, I feel those little wiggly in my
I mean,
stomach.
I'm feeling it
I can
listening to
remember.
you. I was a little different. I loved getting up and speaking, even though I was very awkward socially as a young girl. But for some reason, standing up and speaking in front of people, I had no problem with. Very weird dichotomy there. But
Yeah.
that's a really good story because a lot of people, especially when they have a gift, which a lot of women, we all have gifts and we have something to share, but we don't necessarily find the courage to be able to say, or realize that people might want to listen to what you have to say and that you could teach and help other people. You can mentor, you can motivate, you can do things like that. So just to hear the story that someone as confident as you had that moment, and then as I guess what you're saying is each time that you did it, you became more and more confident. And then that led to you actually feeling confident about your own abilities and to where you are today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
We're learning all the time, right?
Yes. Yep. A
Everything we do.
life student. I know. So when you have challenging moments in your life, and obviously everyone has them, how do you get through those bad days? Who do you either look on for support, or what do you do to get through those bad days? Because all of us experience it, and I love to ask that question.
I I don't I try not to look at things as bad days because everything that's been bad or that has happened, that when you use bad, but maybe inconvenient or maybe heartbreaking or sad or scary, whatever it might be, it never lasts. So I try to go through them really quickly. And it's not that I ignore things, but I embrace them and I know that things are going to be different. So I can't say that I have faith. I believe in God and love to I love to be calm in the moment. I'm not a yeller and screamer. I don't get upset. I don't get all crazy. I like to calmly, rationally think things through. I have a couple of friends that I talk to, but that's not my knee jerk reaction to have something happen and get on the phone or reach out to someone. I really like to think it through because most times, if we don't react very quickly, where we get to where we want to be. I will tell you, this is funny. So when I had an accident and I fell, and this was the big accident that I had, but I remember my first thought was, I really should call my sister. And then I thought about it and I thought, no, I probably should call 911. Even in that moment of I was broken, I was alone, I was sort of panicking, but I was rationally thinking, who would be the best person to call right now? And it really was a moment I'll never forget. I'll never forget. So I think you have to just sort of take a breath. It's like, like we did when we started our call. We took some deep breaths and grounded ourselves. So that's sort of how I operate.
Wow,
It
that's
might be weird.
fantastic. That's a great, just a great way to look at things, because you will get through it. Just take those deep breaths. And it's funny that you, obviously your sister and you have a really good close relationship. If she's the first person that you thought about instead of, oh, I guess I should call 911 and get some help.
I really do need an ambulance. Yeah. I, I've been thinking, should I talk this through with someone? Like rationally think about it. Do I really need to, as I had, everything was broken.
Oh my gosh. And
Old
I
habits
have
die
to
hard, I
say,
guess.
I absolutely love your posts. You have a huge following, and especially because it's like everyday moments that are translated into inspirational messages, right? The new goats on your farm in Connecticut are my new favorite. They are so cute and I love them. And you've transformed them, like just like you did earlier in the conversation, to mean something and to say something about it. There are many of us that are challenged, though, with finding those moments in life and being able to capture them and share them on social media. And because people have such a short attention span, right? As we all know on social media, and you really want to be able to touch someone and have what you have to say make a difference to their life. Can you talk about kind of your process in doing this? Maybe help some of us that are challenged with that?
Well, it depends on what your mission is. So I mix my social media. It's a little bit of business. I work with people with mindset, and I work with people in the health and wellness field. And 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 I just think happiness is huge. And I really never want to get on social media and say, look at me. I've done this, I've done that. Whatever I do, and I'm not saying if you went back there wouldn't be any bit of seeing that. There might be. But in general, what I like to do is show people just the good in something or what's possible or have some kind of a lesson mixed into it. So I really think, and a lot of what I post, Lisa, things that I say, it's something that I'm either struggling with or celebrating or teaching. It's something real. So it kind of comes easy in the sense that I know a message that I want to reveal. And of course, a nice picture is always fun to go along with it. Because if you just posted words, we're are that's just the way it is, which is sad to me because I really love being present. And I think we're not present enough. So if you want to get someone's attention, so if this was say for business or whatever, you nothing ever political. And even though I am a Christian, I really don't post religion because I think it's private to different people and it brings certain things up. But I just think the goodness of life is really what's important. And people are missing that. It's very easy to go on social media and find something negative. And that is what I completely avoid. And I was talking to someone, so we have our new Facebook group, and and we're just getting started with it. But someone said, how are you going to keep negativity out of it? And it was so funny that she even asked me because I don't expect it. I don't look for it. I don't attract it. I don't plan for it. And I really have not had to go through and block anyone or take anyone's comments down because I keep everything on the up and up. And it's not always sunshine and roses. There's some serious things too that happen in our life, but I try to always find the best, capture the best. And people want to feel, the me too in a good way. When if something is on my heart that is hard, I would post that in such a way that someone could say, wow, Susan had a bad day too, and I'm going through this. And it's amazing the messages I get. sidebar from people that are saying, thank you, I needed to hear that today. So I really think you just have to show up as your best self and be real, but just be authentic.
I was just going to say vulnerability is a power that we have. And sharing what you're going through or what you feel or your emotional side very truthfully, like you said, authentically, is how people even get attracted to you and want to hear you more. They trust you more when they know that what you're sharing is really authentic. They really do trust you. And I struggled with that for many years. And it took a lot of time to realize that I could be who I am. And if someone doesn't like me, they're not to be a part of my life. And that's just the way it is. Not everybody is going to like you. It's just the way it goes, no matter how
For
positive.
everyone, I don't care who you are. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's people that don't like Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We can't have that big of a fan base, but yeah, you're right. And you just sort of take a different direction. You don't go there. I don't argue with people.
Yeah. That's
It's okay.
wonderful. So can you provide an example of your lifestyle work that you do, like maybe an example of a specific client and how you help them change their life or age gracefully?
Yes. Well, let me share with you a little bit. So I do work one-on-one with a lot of people that it's basically their health and wellness, and it's specific to them. But in general, I love groups and group coaching and mindset. And that's why I love speaking. And I really, a lot of what we've already talked about, I just urge people to shed the mask that they're wearing and just be yourself. Because I really believe that a lot of people now, especially with social media, I see it more and more. So when I started doing all the things I'm doing, I really wasn't on social media. I wasn't good at it. And it's probably been maybe about 12 years that I said, okay, I've got to do this because I don't like really to be out there in the spotlight. And it feels weird. It feels weird that you're putting something out there and you don't know who's seeing it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was sitting with a group of women, be very comfortable talking to everyone, but you can see their expressions and you can read their body language and it feels comfy. But when you're basically talking to your cell phone and recording something, it feels weird. So what I really encourage women to do is be yourself. Be yourself and try to show up like you are not at a job interview, but like it's your resume. So, yes, we have bad things. And yes, we want to complain because the kids left their dirty socks somewhere, or no one put the new toilet paper on the roll, or why do I always have to cook dinner and whatever it might be. Nobody wants to hear that because that for many of us, that's our life. So we know that. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to bitch and complain about it. We just let that go and show up as the person you want to be better at being. And that's what I really love to teach is not to sit around and complain. And also, Lisa, what I find is really cool. So I've started this group for women over 50, and we're doing some little events. And I have this new meetup group. And what I found with this meetup group, and I've noticed that you do this a lot when you're talking about something that you want to teach and train on, you're walking, you're
Mhm.
outside, you're walking, putting movement with whatever it's like a recipe, right?
I
You
didn't
don't want to
even know
bake
that.
bread. You don't want to bake bread without salt. I'm a baker, but you don't, if you really want to come across authentic, you want to come across in your best mood as your best self, showing up as your authentic self, add some movement to it. That's what's missing. People sit down in their chair, maybe they'll have a camera on them, and they'll try to say something profound. It can be messy, but I love to, I feel most inspired when I'm moving, when I'm out in nature. That makes me happy. So getting in a happy place. But I think a lot of people put that on themselves and then they're stunted. We
Mm.
need to move in order to grow,
Well,
move
and
and
it's funny
think and be with
that you
people.
say that. I didn't, it wasn't a plan in a sense. More for me was the plan that in the morning, I don't have any makeup on. I'm walking my dog and I get inspired and then I get to a spot where I'm away from traffic. I go more into my neighborhood and I know at least you can hear me, but I wanted to work on the vulnerability part and not having makeup and just being the bare Lisa early in the morning with the little hat or sunglasses or whatever I have on is for me authentic. So you do have a mantra, it's never too late to change your life. I love that mantra because when I first started as a reinvent yourself life coach, I did say that a lot. But is there any other positive affirmation or quote or mantra that other than that one, I'd like everyone to share that as one of the last things. We'll talk about how people can reach you and what you're doing. But is there one that you could share with everyone? Because I feel like
Yeah,
one person just needs to hear that and it's going to change their life.
yes, and I do say that it's never too late to change your life. And I I have another version that I like to use as well, which is along the same lines because it's so embedded in me that I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not and from that, I'm not the same person from 20 years before. And I will be a different person in the next 10 years. And I think we're always changing and growing. And I don't want anyone to get to the end of their life and think, why didn't I? And so my mantra, my quote, whatever, it's never too late to become who you've always wanted to be. And we think we can't change. I know it's change your life, and then that's so sort of obscure, but who do you really want to be? Who do you really want to be? And last a couple nights ago, we went out on the boat with some friends, and one of the friends was saying, "I just got a banjo. I've always wanted to play the banjo." And I started laughing. And when I was a kid, remember when we were in school, we had instruments, and I used to play the violin. And about 6 years ago, I bought a violin. I talked about it for years, and I thought, why am I not? Why am I not doing that? And I got a violin. I'm not going to be in concert or anything, but it's just fun to bring that back. But who do you want to be? We think at this point we've already sealed the deal. This is who we are. This is who we are. But I think as long as you're living and breathing, you can change and you can become whoever you want to be.
Because it's truly in you.
Never too late.
It just may not have been released yet. You may not have the confidence or the awareness to be able to release it so that other people can experience it and so that you can experience it. But it's there. And a lot of us, like you said, and everybody knows, as women, we were always here for other people. This is a time in our life after 50, just like you said, where we're here for ourselves. We need to start doing it
Yes.
ourselves and it's just so important and it's so rewarding and even I was a different person 8 months ago. I mean, it just things when you change and you grow and it's uncomfortable and it's difficult sometimes, but it is all for the good and you come out so much stronger and so much happier and just successful at what you're how you live life. You're just it's just more effective in relationships and friends and family and just everything. Yeah.
And I'm an analogy girl, Lisa. So I just want to, this is my analogy. I'm also an ultramarathon runner, a hiker. So imagine our life is a journey, right? And we get to this point. So if I am hiking up a huge mountain, you get to the top, and the last thing you want to think about is starting all over again because you've accomplished so much. So, in our life, whether we've been educated or we've had a career or whatever we've done, we've essentially climbed that mountain. And then we look back and we're like, oh, I don't want to do all that again. So most people will stay at that point because the work it took to get there was so hard. It was just a journey. But I think what people are missing is you don't have to go back and start over. That is all the experience and everything you've gained. Just continue on. It's a new journey. You can continue on. So, yeah, I just urge people to not look back and say, well, I spent my whole life studying X, Y, or Z, or being married to this person, or whatever, or living in this town. It's okay. You don't have to go back. You just go forward, make adjustments, change.
Just go to the next peak. Just keep going forward.
Yeah.
I
Keep
like
going.
that.
Yeah.
So how can people reach you? And please, I know this is coming out when it's going to be out for a while, but you've got some new things that you're doing. And again, this is in perpetuity. So we're going to act like it's really going on right now. So tell us how people can reach you and see you and hear you.
Well, it is. We just started. A friend of mine, Mimi Madden, and I started a new community for women over 50 to navigate all these things that are new, a new roadmap, and it's called the Good News Girls. And it's pretty exciting because it's all good news. And we have a website. Everything is the Good News Girls. So it's thegoodnewsgirls.com. I can be reached at Susan at the Good News Girls. We have Instagram and Facebook and all kinds of things, but it really is, we'll have guests every month that are actually hitting on the topics that we are navigating. So we'll have a book each month, we'll have a guest each month. There's so much, and we will be doing retreats and events, and it's super, super exciting. But what we've really noticed, and I would urge everyone to go to our website, there's a free book to download that I wrote this winter when I was in Florida. It's called The Fab Formula. And it's 4 great things to be able to get your life off to a good start in this next phase. And also, there is a survey for women over 50. It's called the Voices of Experience, and it is on our website. And it's just 10 simple questions, but we want to hear from you because we want to know where you are in your life. And we have seen a common thread. Women over 50 are all wanting a lot of the same things. So we want to have one nice, easy place to build a community and to figure out the answers together.
I can't wait. Of course, I'm going to be joining the community, so I can't wait. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much, Susan. I know you're a busy person and I really appreciate it. And I know all the listeners have learned so much from you. And remember thegoodnewsgirls.com. And I'm sure it's going to be so inspirational and so fun. And it'll be super successful because it's going to help so many people, so many women over 50. And we need it. We need help. A lot of people kind of put us to the side. We need, and what we need to do is help each other. So that's fabulous. Thank you. Yeah, helping each other.
Thank you. And thank you for having me, Lisa. You are an inspiration, and it's really cool that after all these years, we are still connected across the country and across the years. So thank you.
Thank you. I know everybody, this is Ladies Who Lead Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Susan Wheeler. Yay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening or watching. Please subscribe to the Ladies Who Lead Podcast to be notified of new episodes. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know what works, what doesn't, and if you have a story to tell, please reach out. Come join the Leap community at the Ladies Who Leap Club Facebook group. Remember, leaping out of your comfort zone is where the growth happens.